Well, how you doing? I'm on my way back up from Stranraer, heading back into Glasgow again after doing my deliveries this morning, and just wanted to actually cut a quick video for you and talk a little bit about the dynamics that are in place today. You'll have noticed of my reports on Facebook, and I'm going to be updating more in the blog later about the aspect of downslope warming and why we're seeing, basically places right along the west coast warmer than places that are inland, especially if there's hills that's on the east side of these beach and coastal communities. Now, I'm sitting here at Girvan in Ayrshire, and Girvan's behind me. I'm actually looking south, and the winds are screaming out of the east. Now, the reason being is we've got high pressure to the northeast of Scotland, so therefore winds are basically they're clockwise around an area of high pressure. The high pressure itself is very strong as well. Thickness values are very, very high, and therefore we've got quite warm air way up in the high levels of the atmosphere. Now that caps the atmosphere, it stops clouds from forming, and of course at night time we don't see that cooling that you would typically see. Even under the starry skies, temperatures are staying in the 14 to 16, even some 17 Celsius readings overnight. The reason being is when you've got warm air aloft, we don't have the atmosphere doesn't have that ability of releasing any warmth that's been built up during the daytime to escape back to space at night. When you've got a cold air mass aloft, you can allow that radiation to escape back to space at night very rapidly. But when you cap that off, it's like closing the door. When you've got that cold air in the upper levels, it's like opening a door up in the upstairs of your house, and it allows all the warmth in the bottom floor to rise. But when you've got that warmth, that air can simply not rise, and therefore the cooling overnight is very slow. Now, of course, we've got very short nights at this time of year. The sun rises early, so therefore the potential for cooling is very limited because of the short nights. But certainly I'm wanting to also talk to you about downslope warming. Now, as we're seeing almost literally wall-to-wall sunshine today, quite rare actually to see just not a cloud anywhere really across the British Isles. I believe from the Facebook report I seen earlier this morning, there's literally no clouds apart from down across the Isles of Scilly and up over the Northern Isles. But look at these skies here, absolutely breathtaking, isn't it? Now, of course, with strong high pressure, we're seeing maximum sinking of air. As air sinks, it heats up, and of course it warms the land. That radiates back into the lower atmosphere, heating the air. The air itself is actually not heated directly from the sun. It actually is through the land heating up and therefore radiating vertically, basically. But as you've got that easterly wind, as the land heats, we're actually going to increase the easterly wind because the land heating up actually lowers the pressure at the surface. High pressure then is higher over the waters, both over the North Sea and to the west over the North Channel and the Atlantic. Now, when you've got higher pressure and lower pressure over the land, the wind itself goes from high pressure to low pressure. And of course, as the land heats up, we then see that wind increasing. Now, as the wind travels across the warming land, it therefore heats up. It also dries as well, because an easterly flow off the continent is a dry flow, not a moist, humid one. So, of course, drier air heats easier than moist air, with humid air. So, therefore, as that wind travels over these hilltops, say, for example, the Pennines, coastal mountains, just like these here, to the east of Girvan. Of course, you've got the water here. This is, of course, it's basically the Firth of Clyde, opening out under the North Channel. Northern Ireland would basically be over here. Now you've got winds that are blowing this way here, so they're blowing out of the east towards the water. So therefore, as the air and the wind travels over these hills here, it downslopes, it descends the west face of these hills. As it downslopes, it dries out. As it dries out, it heats up. Therefore, while we see temperatures, generally, if it wasn't windy, we would probably see temperatures today of 22, 23 degrees. But given that downslope effect, blowing down these hills, heating up through compression, we could be then talking about temperatures easily today in Girvan, Ayr, Prestwick, up towards Weems Bay, Skilmorley, trying to think of other places, Gurrock. All these places that are west of hills could see temperatures rise to 27 or 28 Celsius quite easily today. I do reckon that places such as Manchester, other areas to the west of the Pennines, could be talking about 27, 28, maybe even 29 Celsius today, given the dynamics that are in place. But it's the downsloping effect. If you're sitting on this beach this afternoon, you're more than likely going to have very gusty winds blowing from the land, from a warm source. Therefore, it's going to be a warm wind. It's going to push back any natural onshore flow that natural sea breeze is not going to exist on the west coast today. So don't be surprised if you're on Ayr Beach, Girvan Beach, up in the Prestwick. Don't be surprised if you're sweltering this afternoon, wondering why it's so warm and you've not got that sea breeze. That's the reason why. But certainly we could be looking at temperatures anywhere from the southwest of England and the interior, up the west coast of Wales, up through parts of the West Midlands, Lancashire, Cumbria, Dumfries and Galway, all the way up through the West Highlands. We could be talking about some very warm temperatures today, rivaling records, the Scottish record being a mere 28, I believe it's exactly 29 Celsius, and we're 0.3 away from that record yesterday at Kinlochwy in the Northwest Highlands. That could be beaten today. I wouldn't be surprised. But anyway, enough said. Hope you're having a great weekend and stay safe out there, folks, as well. It is warm. Drink plenty of fluids. Wear that sunscreen and protect yourselves. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.